Hi, everybody. Welcome to Prenatal Yoga. Congratulations on your pregnancy. So glad you're here and that you're taking this really important time for yourself. And I'm Bonnie Golden, and a prenatal postpartum yoga specialist. I'm teaching from TMC's The Core as a gift to the women of Tucson and beyond. So sit on a blanket or pillow if you can grab something so that your hips are elevated. Also, if you have a yoga block or a book or something to bring the floor to you, we can improvise on that. So coming to a seat that feels like you're even on both sides of your hips, let's just interlace fingers and stretch the knuckles and palms forward. Soften your shoulders away from your ears, tilt your chin to your chest, and breathe for a moment. And then inhale, bring the arms over the head, bend the elbows as much as you want. We'll come back to that same shape, but kind of round back, and then bring the arms up over the head. So work with your breath, just bringing some motion, inviting motion into the tissues of your body that's carrying your baby, and breathe. Excellent. Coming to the last one. Inhale, exhale. Bring your left arm over your head. Bring your right fingertips to the ground. Feel that your left hip is stable on the ground and lengthen out the side of the body. Very important to make room for your breath. So kind of opening the side body helps the breath go into this, it's different abodes. Now bend the right elbow a little more and look up underneath your armpit. Change that motion. You can bend your elbow if you like. Breathe. And inhale, exhale, bring the arm up. We're kind of with my block coming over to second side. So you can be on your fingertips here. You can be flat on the palm, but root your right hip into the earth. And lengthen out the fingertips, making space for baby, making space for everything. And again, I commend you for making this space in your life to do some self-care. Inhale, exhale, release. Now we'll bring both arms up. Inhale, fingertips toward the sky, and exhale. Keep going about 3 or 4 more times. Inhale. Exhale. So the breath, as you know, is your companion to help relieve stress, to bring a sense of calm, and to support you in labor. That is your anchor. Inhale, exhale. Stay here for a moment. Lengthen to the sky, but root to the earth. And we're going to turn the ribs over toward your left. Keep that right hand on the right knee and allow the chest to feel open. So just a really open kind of feeling here. Breathe down, breathe deep, and then exhale, release your shoulders. One more time like that. Let it go. Inhale, lengthen, unwind, let your arms float up, and we'll take to the other side. This is an open, kind of not quite even a twist, okay? It's just kind of an opening here to make room. We need a lot of space. We got to make a lot of space. Breathe in, get taller. Breathe out, relax those shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. One more time. And exhale, coming back to center. Beautiful. Let's unwind our legs and have our toes face toward the sky. So have your legs open as comfortable as it is for you and shift left and right. Kind of feel where your midline is. We're going to start to come into ankle circles. Okay? So there's a sense of your big toes making circles in the air. And then let's bring our arms out, open the chest. Keep turning the ankles. I have like a hitchhiker sign, so make that with your hands. Good. And then relax your arms down. Bring your toes toward you. We're going to do a few pumpings to get circulation in the calves, circulation in the ankles. If you're having a little swelling, it's not unusual, in the feet. Feeling like you've gone up a half a shoe size. I know I did with each of my pregnancies. So, but get that circulation going. There's a tendency, like I said, to the edema, to the swelling. Good. Now hinge forward at the hips. So bring the top of the pelvis forward, bring your fingertips to the earth, and widen your collarbones. So don't be closed in, but feel wide in the collarbones, through the chest. And take a nice deep breath. Now breathe into the back body. Breathe in and exhale. Remember, the ribs go all around to the back of the body, and that breath between those muscles between the ribs can expand if you allow the breath to go there. So inhale and exhale, calming down. Inhale and exhale. Excellent. Walk your hands toward you. Help your right foot in. Bring your heel toward the perineum, toward the pelvis. Give yourself a little hip adjustment. Just kind of wiggle around and adjust so it feels kind of more balanced. Keep the right hand at the waist and walk the left fingertips toward the foot. We still are maintaining that open chest, open heart. Can you notice if your jaw is relaxed? Breathe in, breathe out. Just some opening stretches. Take this back hand behind you. So the palm is facing out. Bring it behind you and lengthen out. So we're not thrusting the ribs, just lengthening out. So there's, again, space. Everything gets a little sluggish, the digestive system and all the organs, of course, as you know, are getting a little squished. So if we can make a little space, it will help. Bring this leg in, and we'll go to the opposite side. So wiggle around, find your sweet spot. And inhale, exhale, kind of move your fingertips toward that outstretched leg. Rotate and breathe. Again, notice all the tissues in your face and your forehead. As they relax, the rest of your body will relax. Breathing, breathing. Inhale, exhale, go ahead and release. Bring your foot up and then join the soles of your feet together. Take a look at them. See that your feet look even, and we're going to butterfly out. So just kind of like butterfly wings, and feeling like your hips are getting some release there. Good. Let the knees melt toward the earth, and you can roll your blanket up to a higher height. If you feel like your knees are way up, be on a higher height, okay? Lead with the heart again. Bring your fingertips down and then walk them over to your right, keeping your left hip on the earth. So in other words, don't let the butterfly fly open. Keep both sides of the hips pretty stable. And back to center, revolving very gently. Now, you can hopefully feel the target here on the side muscles of the body, around the lower back. Just pay attention to where you're feeling release. And inhale, exhale, and walk yourself back up. Help your knees in. And we'll make our way to fours. So take a blanket if you want, or a pillow or something under your knees if you're not on a soft surface. And we'll make our way to table pose. So wrists under shoulders. And look behind you, have your knees right under your hips, and then widen your knees. So you have a little bit more room in the pelvis. You can be onto the fingertips. That's a way to modify for your wrists. You could also fold the mat, if you're on a mat, and put the heel of the hand on the mat. So the wrist joint is higher than the joints of the fingers. And sometimes our wrists are tender, whether you're pregnant or not, but that's a modification. Okay. Slide the shoulders away from the ears. Bring the chest forward. Lengthen the spine. Feel every inch of your spine. And then bring chin to chest. Tilt the pelvis toward the earth. And again, the target here in the lower back, the rounding. Shake out your head a little bit. And keep going with your breath. Coming to all fours is a great way to relieve stress in the back, tightness in the back. Early stages of labor, you might want to come to all fours. Undulate your spine with your breath. If you can't think of any other yoga movement, this movement of the spine with the breath, this can be just a basic practice for you. Coming back to table, we're going to circle, okay? So find space in the hips. Feel how the back and the glutes around the hips, there's length. So everything can get pretty tight as your center of gravity goes forward. The back body can get pretty tight. So let's go the other way. Breathe. Breathe, breathe. Excellent. And coming back to center, bring both of your feet over to the left and stretch the right side of the body. So you're kind of like a C shape. Take your right hand and move it to the left, and you're going to get another little sweet stretch on the side of the body. Play around where your hand landed. You might find a place that's serving you the best versus where you just first landed. I'm on my fingertips. Can move around. And some of us were talking about back pain. We're talking about shoulder tightness. See where it works for you. Come back to center and to the second side. So the feet swing over to your right, your left hand goes to the right, and you have a C shape on left side of the body. Again, breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Beautiful. And inhale, exhale, curl your toes under, widen your knees, lengthen your hips back, pause for a moment, and then bring your hands forward. As you make room for baby's dwelling place, widen your knees. So right there, that hip tightness can be lengthened when you take and breathe into this movement. Come forward. Come to either table or rock to the top of your knees without letting the belly drag you toward the floor. Feel your arm strength. Really push the floor away. And then we'll stretch as we come back. Now breathe with this. It's your yoga is my motto. Yoga with Bonnie motto. It's your yoga. So go at the pace that works for you. Go a little slower. Go a little faster. Make it yours. Really trust yourself. Good. And last one. And we'll then release the toes, bring the big toes together, the knees apart, slide hips back toward the heels, stack your fists, rest your forehead on your fists, Feel your scapula relax apart, protract. And sense your breath breathing into the sides and the back and the belly, surrounding your baby. So take a nice deep inhale. Expand the ribs, the side, front, sides, and back. Exhale. Hug your baby from within. 2 more times. So get used to bringing your breath down and expanding it. It will relieve a lot of stress. Good. And slowly make your way up. And we'll come to a kneeling shape. So it's going to look like this, and then bring your right foot forward. Stack your hip and your knee. And we're going to just slide the hips down about 50%. So don't go too far at first, because we get pretty tight in these hip flexors. You can see I've got this right leg is kind of tilted out. So that'll make a little more room in your pelvis. So coming up and down with your breath. This could be a movement you do in early labor too, to just kind of help the baby. Add the left arm. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. And a mama lunges. Inhale, exhale. Good, last one. Keep the arm up. Take your forearm of the right side and just stretch to the side of the body. Root into feet, root into the knee. Open, breathe. Excellent. Inhale, exhale, release. Very carefully move to the second side. You might have to touch down, that's fine. So find that sweet spot. Where is best for your leg? Take a test and kind of move the hips forward and down and just see what feels good for you. Adjust that front leg, okay? Keep going with the breath, acclimating the body, and then let right arm come up. Inhale, exhale. So what's good for you is good for your baby, okay? So breathing is so crucial. Just to oxygenate all of your systems. Stay here, breathe, and we're coming to that sideways movement. On the second side, look forward or up. The strength of the legs and the opening in the upper body. And beautiful. Inhale, exhale, release. We're going to make our way to standing. So you decide which leg feels stronger. Bring it forward. Let me go sideways so you can see. Curl the back toes under. Step into that front foot strongly and make your way up to standing. And I'll just take the blanket off there. Let's come to mountain pose, or what I like to call a mountain pose. Palms forward. In prenatal yoga, we want the legs about hip joint distance apart, and sense that your brain is over your heart center, is over your uterus. So we've got that alignment in which, pay attention to this, we're not thrusting our hips and our ribs. So really drawing your weight back to your heels, and then bring your hand to your low belly, to your baby's dwelling place. And see if you can bring the breath down in mountain pose here. Just feel it. And you can feel it on the sides too. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. Spread the breath. And exhale. Beautiful. From here, have your palms face the sky. Bring the energy up. Bend your knees a little. Push the stress out of your body, out into the universe. Bring your legs apart. Rotate your toes out and come to a few of these goddess squats. So we're coming in and out. let your knees go toward the smaller toes of the feet. Okay, so you can go as low or high as you want to. It's just a way to squat, open the hips. And 2 more. Inhale. Release. Inhale. Release. Stay here. We're going to take a side bend. And both sides twice. So just coming to both sides. You can, again, come up or go lower, whatever your body wants today. And second side. Good. Bring your toes a little forward. Hip hinge. So feel the top of your pelvis move forward. Let your hips go back. Okay. And we're going to gather energy from the earth. Press into the feet. Press into the strength of the legs and open, bring up a big boulder of energy. Bend your knees, push it out to the sky. Breathe back to the goddess shape. Let's bring our arms out here and we'll kind of go like arms up and down like we did in the earlier snow angel. Breathe. So the stress of the day accumulates depending on what time you're doing this practice. I'm trying to get rid of stress by doing this kind of movement. Bring toes forward, lead with the chest. This is called drinking bird. And then we'll come back to goddess. One more time. Drinking bird. Back to goddess. Beautiful. And then again, hinge at the hips, kind of have seaweed arms, loose arms, gather the energy, press strongly into your legs, draw that heavy piece of boulder up, bend your knees and push the stress away. Bring your feet together more, bring the energy down now. And coming back to where we started in that first round, okay? It's called the golden seed, one of my favorite practices for prenatal yoga. We'll do one more round, bring the energy up, push it to the sky, come to goddess squat. We'll side stretch twice on each side. You can do this whole thing sitting down, by the way. So you're about when you come to say the 38th, 39th week, you can say, I want to stretch, but I want my pelvis supported. Second time, second side. Do the same movement. Toes forward, gathering energy. Feel the strength of legs. Lift the boulder up. Feel your inner strength. Push out stress. Back to goddess. Good. Drinking bird. Back to goddess. Drinking bird. And back to goddess. And we'll come and gather. Release, let go. Release all the tensions of the day, of yesterday, and bring that big boulder up last time. Press the stress out. And closing. Bring the energy down. Come back to mountain pose. Hands at the belly. Actually, let's bring our hands to our side. Breathe in, expand sideways. Breathe out, feel how your muscles hug your baby. So there's a little contraction. One more like that. Beautiful. So take our legs apart and pivot your left toes to the left. Kick right heel back to the right. Let your front heel and your back heel be in one line. We're going to slide into triangle pose. So remember that open chest that we worked with, that we cultivated earlier. We don't want to close up here. Really keep it open. It might mean taking that bottom arm up a little. You don't have to extend a ton. If you feel the balance, look at your top thumbnail If not, don't worry about it. Look forward. And inhale, exhale. Take the back hand to the back leg. Take the front arm up just a bit for reverse triangle. Lift out of the lower back. Make room. Breathing in, breathing out. And then bring the palms to the sky. Let the hips go straight down as the front knee bends into warrior two. Feel front knee going towards smaller toes of the feet. Feel your strength. And excellent. Go ahead and release. Toes forward. Second side, that same little order, that same little vinyasa. So front toes facing the front, the short end of the mat, heel to heel. Arms float up, palms forward. And triangle pose, Trikonasana. If you like to learn Sanskrit, learn another language in yoga, you can look up or forward. Look to where it feels good for you. You can even hold your baby if that feels like you would like to do that in this pose. Breathe. Nice hip openers, and then bend front knee as it goes towards smaller toes of the feet. Shoulders relax. Gaze out into the horizon. Warrior two. Breathing in, breathing out. And let's straighten the front knee. We're doing reverse triangle. So you can gaze up to your fingertips, feeling that space along all the tissue, connective tissue, fascia of the body. And inhale, exhale, release. Beautiful. Bring toes forward. Grab a block or a step stool or a book. We're going to bring the floor to us. So I'm putting the block at its highest height in the middle. Toes are forward. Hip hinge. Bring the elbows together. Hip hinge. And then bring your hands to the block. Feel like the block is more or less underneath your neck. Bend the knees and bring the hips back. Let me show you sideways how that looks. Bend the knees and bring the hips back. Yeah. And then we'll just shift our hips left and right. Taking easy gliding, runners, lunges. Now, what you want, what prenatal yoga does, is cultivate all these different positions of your hips, because we want them strong, but we also want them flexible for the birthing process and for life. So slide and glide a couple more times. Good. I'll face you again. Bring your right hand to the block and open up your left arm to the left. Chest opens. You can still hopefully see your hand in the periphery. And inhale, exhale, release. Second side. And windmill one more time to each side. So find the spaciousness within the pose by breathing, by rooting but lengthening, rooting to the earth, lengthening to the sky. And second side. Excellent. Inhale, exhale, release. Heel toe your feet in. Bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet strongly, and hinge back up. Make your way back to a mountain pose. Shoulders relax. Feel that surge of energy, and also feel like you've discharged any tension and stress of the day by these pretty gentle movements, gentle but strong. Okay, so wherever you are, whatever space you're in, I invite you to come near a wall or a chair. So I'm going to use this as the wall. So just so you know that you're supported. Go right here. Okay. And bring your hands in front of your heart in mountain pose. So you want to be near something for balance because our balance is always adjusting with pregnancy. Shift weight to your left foot and bring your right heel to the inseam of the standing leg. Now, you can kind of move your hip around. Find, again, that sweet spot. Breathe and gaze. Find a place to gaze. And sense the top of your head energy, the crown, moving toward the sky. And at the same time, root your feet into the foot, into the earth. So not necessarily bringing this right foot off the ground. If you do, I want you to feel like you have something nearby to touch. Again, the body is different when pregnant, so we need to adjust. Call it family tree. You can have your arms holding something, wiggling around, that's fine. Beautiful. Go ahead and release before we go to the second side. Take hands to the hips and do some hip circles and hula hoops. Think about the numbers of a clock, 12, 3, 6, 9, and a circling your baby. Go counterclockwise if you haven't already. Breathing. Okay, second side. Remember, we want to be near something to just touch onto to support your back. I'll start with hands at the heart. If you'd rather have hands at your hips, you can do that version too. Shift your weight to your right foot and rotate from the hip so the left heel parks on the inseam of the left leg. And that might be it, family tree pose. And sense that core, the core of the tree. And really all the ancestors that came before in the family tree. And you're growing your branch. And again, optional, make sure you have something nearby. You can bring the foot off the ground into your version of your family tree. Beautiful. And excellent. Inhale, exhale, released, releasing the hips the best you can. Good. The last standing pose we'll do, I suggest you grab a towel, or if you have a yoga block, we want to wake up the inner thighs even a bit more. So you can put the yoga block between the knees and the hips, or just fold up a towel and put it there. And go sideways, hands in front of the heart. Again, notice if you're thrusting hips, try to bring the energy back. Also feels if the inner thighs are moving back behind you, but not gripping, so that the block is kind of moving back, that sense. Okay, not opening, but closing, rotating. Hands at the heart. Pretend you're sitting in a chair behind you. Ooh, feel that nice length in the hips. So the block is your teacher. The towel is your teacher. Whatever you're using there is teaching you to keep the hips kind of stabilized by having those muscles turn on. Now go ahead and bring your arms out. Open your chest, make those hitchhiker thumbs. And breathe. So if you want to be higher in a higher chair, please do so. If you want to be lower, these are all forms of squat. Now shift your weight. I'll bring my hands here. Shift your weight a little bit left, a little bit right. Again, try to find a sense of symmetry, a sense of balance here. So I would suggest doing this one maybe 3 times a day. And inhale, sweep the arms up. Join the hands in front of the heart. And standing here, we still have the prop in mountain pose. So this kind of turning on all the muscles around the pelvis really brings stability to the pelvis. We know that relaxing is in the body, and more concentration when pregnant. Go ahead and remove the prop. We'll take 2 more breaths in mountain pose. I want you to pretend the prop is there and see if you haven't turned on those inner thigh muscles. Breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. And we're going to work our way back to the floor. Any way you want to get there. One way I like to think about is having your legs staggered and bending both knees at the same time and bringing one knee, then the other down. However you've gotten here, you could put the block, pardon me, between your feet to sit on in this heroine's pose. So reach back and kind of massage your feet a little bit. Feel the 10 toenails pressed into the earth. Sense that same alignment of your brain over your heart, over your pelvis. And go ahead and open your arms. Inhale, bring the palms together. And just as we did earlier, in fact, I'll face you so you can see, interlace your fingers and come into this shape. So we're bringing the palms toward the sky. Again, we find that space for baby. Find the space for your lungs, for your breath. Good. And then take your left hand to your right elbow and have a nice little stretch here in this Gomukhasana, the cow face pose. And then bring the whole torso a little bit, a smidge over to your right. Breathing, breathing. And working your way out. Stretch the arms up. Bring the elbow to the hand to the other elbow. And take a nice stretch on the opposite side of the body. Breathing, breathing. Inhale, exhale, release. Sweep your arms down. Rotate your shoulders one at a time so that you can clasp your hands. So you're clasping your hands right at the sacrum. Draw the elbows together and feel the chest open. So we're not thrusting the chest, but just allowing a deeper breath to nourish you, to nourish your baby. Release that pose. Bring your hands to your thighs. Draw the skin of the thighs up, away from the knees, toward the hips. Relax your shoulders. Beautiful. Breathing, breathing. So we'll make our way off of our prop. I'm going to invite you to lie on your left side. If you have a pillow and or a blanket or two, you'll rest your head on one of them, your head and neck, and then you pretend this is a pillow. You can, or the block, you can put the block between your legs, sort of like a spacer, okay? So that makes more room for the hips. So I'd like you to go ahead and set yourself up in that, and I will lead you as you get comfortable and kind of a final relaxation, which you all deserve. Especially you've earned it during pregnancy. So take whatever kinds of little movements, fidget around till you're 10% more comfortable. One of the benefits of yoga is this cultivation of being able to accumulate the ability to relax. So it's not something to skip, it's something to really enjoy. So see if the physical body, the skin is relaxing, the joints, especially the hip joints, Feel a little more spacious. Pay attention to the jaw. See if you can soften around the joints of the jaw. And let your tongue relax. Let your tongue soften. So we're often tense in the jaw, maybe gritting the teeth. See if you can soften your lips, your jaw, your tongue. Take note of how the rest of the physical body tends to let go. Now, sense your breath as an ocean that is rhythmic. As you breathe in, the waves of the breath are able to spread and bring calm to you and to your baby. And the waves move out as you exhale. Every breath is different than the one prior. See if you can allow your mind to watch your breath. This is a practice that will support you throughout your life, and especially as you give birth to the baby within you. So let the waves come in and out. Let the waves breathe you. Feel like every wave of breath is bringing you deeper to relaxation and deeper to connecting to the growing life within you. If you haven't already, place a hand or both where your baby dwells and take a nice deep breath in. Feels if your breath is connecting to your baby, two hearts beating in one space. And let it go. Notice the state of your nervous system. And keep that center of calm as you wiggle your toes, maybe wiggle your fingers. And when it's time to move, bring both hands to the floor and press in using your arm strength to come back up to seated where we started. Or you could remain where you are for longer. Place one hand at your heart, one hand where your baby dwells. And take a breath in, connecting your breath with your heart and your baby's heart. So picture that ribbon of breath and let it go. Thank you so much for sharing your practices with me. Have a beautiful week.